My commanding officer pulled me from active duty rotation and handed me a medical reassignment letter on a Thursday morning in front of my entire squad. Said combat stress had made me unpredictable. Said I was a liability to the unit. 11 months later, that same officer sat in a debrief room and watched my training program bring 41 soldiers home alive from an extraction that had no business ending that way. Let me tell you about Sergeant Major Alcott. Never deployed beyond administrative distance. Never made a decision with actual consequences attached to it. But he had the title and the signature authority, and in the military, that combination can end careers before breakfast. I'd done 3 combat rotations across 2 theaters. We had a fundamental disagreement about who had earned the right to define what stable looked like. He won that argument on paper. I won it everywhere that actually mattered. The reassignment letter cited one single incident. 3 weeks prior, live exercise. A junior soldier discharged unexpectedly close to my position. I reacted tactically, appropriately. Nobody was touched. Situation resolved in under 5 seconds. Alcott wrote it up as a breakdown. I stood in front of my squad and read every word of that letter out loud in my own head while keeping my face completely still. Understood, sir, I said, folded it clean, slid it into my breast pocket, and started planning before I'd even left the room. Medical reassignment dropped me into the training division, the place careers go when someone decides you're more trouble than you're worth. Most people treated it like a waiting room, heads down, clock watching, waiting to be relevant again. I treated it like the only laboratory I'd ever been given with actual time in it. 3 deployments had left me with things no field manual covered. The specific way units fracture under sustained pressure, how decision-making compresses when seconds cost lives, how soldiers carry invisible weight that nobody officially acknowledges, and how that weight, handled correctly, becomes something entirely different than a liability. I wrote it all down, built a framework, 12 weeks, full curriculum, stress integration woven directly into tactical adaptability training. Captain Reyes, my supervisor and the sharpest mind in that entire division, read my first draft in one uninterrupted sitting and looked up with one question. Why doesn't this already exist? She submitted it above Alcott's head before he knew I'd written a single page. Approved within 6 weeks. Pilot cohort, 28 soldiers, half of them carrying the exact same things that had gotten me reassigned. First session, I told them something I needed someone to have told me. What you're carrying isn't weakness, it's data. Every deployment leaves information inside you. Learn to read it, and it will keep you alive out there. Some faces were skeptical. They didn't stay that way. Month 11, forward zone, extraction operation. 3rd hour, everything collapsed simultaneously. Enemy repositioned without warning. Communications infrastructure gone. 4 vehicles, 41 personnel. Situation deteriorating faster than command could respond. My cohort was the unit inside it. I stood at the operations monitor in the training facility next to Captain Reyes and didn't breathe correctly for 90 straight minutes. They adapted, held unit cohesion when everything was loudest, made decisions we had drilled until those decisions lived in their bones rather than their heads. 41 soldiers came home, every single one. Full debrief, senior staff, documentation for the permanent operational record. Alcott in the room. I presented for 40 minutes. Every training methodology, every documented correlation between what we built in that classroom and what that unit executed under fire. When I finished, the reviewing general asked one question. Where did this program originate? I kept my voice perfectly level. Reassignment gave me the time to build it, sir, I said. Sergeant Major Alcott deserves partial credit. The room went very quiet. Alcott looked at the table in front of him and stayed there. Program is now standard curriculum across 3 training installations with 2 more pending. My daughter Renee called last month, 17 years old, told me she wants to enlist. My heart did several things at once. Are you certain? I asked. I want to do something that actually matters, Mom, she said. 41 faces, 4 vehicles, 90 minutes of barely breathing. Then learn everything they'll teach you, I said. Carry nothing alone. Trust your unit. And if anyone ever hands you a letter telling you that what you've survived makes you lesser. She waited. Keep it, I said. You'll want it later, I promise. Alcott retired 8 months ago. No ceremony that reached my ears. 41 soldiers are still breathing this morning. I know exactly which one matters